What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today I want to talk about two things. I want to talk about, I posted a video yesterday and I was talking about the basically President Biden calling Mitch McConnell a friend and all this. And I got a lot of responses on that. So a lot of comments. And so I want to talk about one of those comments. And then I also want to talk about the COVID-19 death toll. It's risen. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first off, on this channel, we talk about financial news and what's going on in Washington, D.C. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. And like always, if you see my name and a picture of me in the comment section, make sure you see a check mark next to my name. That check mark signifies that it's me. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, so the first story I want to talk about today, let's go ahead and go right over to it. The U.S. death toll from COVID-19 hits 900,000, sped by Omicron. So we're looking at a situation right now, and this is just crazy. The fact that we are now at a point, and this is 2 years down the road, we're at a point where we have 900,000 people have passed away because of this COVID-19 variant. And I remember I was actually out of the country when this really started to take off in the U.S. It was back in March of 2020. I was in Colombia, and it was interesting just watching, and when you're in another country, watching your country. And it was at the time where people were starting to hoard toilet paper and water. And so I'm watching this news feed from Colombia, and I'm seeing kind of what I was going home like in the next couple of days, and I'm watching this and I'm thinking, wow, what is going on in the U.S.? And so when I did get home, things, the way they appeared on TV in where I was living, it wasn't that way. It wasn't as chaotic as it seemed. But I remember that, and I remember them shutting everything down. I think we all went through this whole process of most people in the U.S. went through that process of when things were getting shut down and when they were doing these soft basically curfews and things like that. However, and I've talked to people in other countries, their lockdowns were a lot more severe than ours, but nonetheless, people were on lockdown. And now we're in a situation where we've reached that point of 900,000 deaths. And it's just, I mean, it's a sad thing. It really is. And this has changed our life. I mean, forever. I think it's changed the way we do things. I think it will continue to change the way we do things when it comes to wearing a mask on airplanes and things like that. I think we're looking at this type of, we're going to be doing this for a very, very long time, because I think we're always going to be looking at that possibility of a next variant and what that will do and another virus. I mean, we're talking about COVID now, COVID-19, but what about another virus? There's just so many different things that can happen. So this is really, really a tragedy, and it's not just the U.S. It's all over the world. Everyone's been suffering with this whole situation. And I know people talk about inflation and the things that we're dealing with right now in the economy. A big part of inflation came from COVID. Okay, so just because you're hearing people say, well, no, it's this president's fault, or it's Congress's fault, or we should have never had stimulus package or stimulus checks and all this. A lot of this is stemming from COVID, because COVID shut down everything. And you had a lot of manufacturing companies that shut down. And when they opened back up, they tried to get caught up. So they made a lot of the products. And the whole problem now is getting those products to the people. The people want to buy them. People they have the money, they want to buy the products, but a lot of those products are sitting in cargo ships. And we have a bottleneck. We have a lot of people, a lot of manufacturing companies that have been waiting a long, long time to get these products to the U.S. and to all over the world. And the reality is these ports can only bring in a certain amount of products at a time. So they can't just bring in everything. They just can't say, okay, ships, come on in and drop off all your stuff and go. They have to wait. And so because they're waiting, that means there's a limited supply. And if there's a limited supply, when you go to the store, guess what? The retailers raise those prices. And that's what we're seeing a lot of. So I'm not saying that that's the only reason we have inflation, but that is a big reason why we have inflation. Until they address this problem, we're going to be looking at the cost of goods going up. And it's just the way it is. Once they start getting more of a supply, then the prices should level off and drop down. That's the hope. So hopefully I mean, like I said, this is a milestone, 900,000 deaths. It's just a tragedy. And we're also looking at economic issues, and hopefully we can take care of both of those things and not have to be in a situation, or at least be in the situation that we are in right now when it comes to the variant as well as the inflation issues. Okay, so the next story I want to talk about, this was actually a comment that was posted, and I posted a video yesterday just talking about President Biden was calling Mitch McConnell, Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, a friend. And so I posted that, and I was pretty frustrated, pretty irritated with him calling him a friend. And watch that video. I'll post a link at the end of this video so you can check it out. But I did get a response from Rosemary. Rosemary, thank you for your comment here. President needs to stand up for the people. Now, I wanted to kind of take this a different way. I like to be able to explain things, and I don't want people to think that we have a president that can do everything on his own. That's just not the way things work. And so, yes, I agree 100%, Rosemary. He needs to stand up for the American people. However, it's not just him. He has Congress, and Congress, they're the legislators. They're the ones that put these bills out. They're the ones that get the money to the American people. They're the ones that cut taxes. They do all that stuff. Okay, the president can sign off on them, or he can veto them if he doesn't want to move forward with the bill. But the people who create those bills, that's Congress. And that's where we should be focused. And the reason that I had a real big issue with what President Biden said about Mitch McConnell is because Mitch McConnell is a legislator. And Mitch McConnell right now is choosing not to legislate. And so Mitch McConnell is holding up a lot of this, okay? Because even though he's the minority leader, he can still come together with the Democrats if he wants to and pass bills. But he's choosing not to. As a matter of fact, he's saying that he doesn't want to do that. Mitch McConnell doesn't want President Biden's agenda to go through at all. And so that's what was upsetting to me. The fact that you have a president that's calling a person who's a legislator, a person that's their job, their sole job is to get these proposals and these bills through Congress. That is their whole job. And Mitch McConnell is refusing to do that. So how can you call him a friend? So that's what I had issue with. But I just want to make sure everyone understands, because I hear a lot of talk of, oh, the president can just do an executive order for stimulus checks. No, he can't do that. That's spending. That's money that needs to come from somewhere. And that money needs to come from Congress, because Congress controls the purse. They control the money. So the president can't just say that he wants to do that and do that executive order. He can do executive orders for certain things, but those executive orders you can't have money involved in that. It can't be a situation where you need to get money. If you have the money already, or let's say if it's a loan, I know there's more talk of, well, the president can sign executive orders to cut $10,000 off people's student loans. So yes, he can do something like that, because all he's doing is saying, okay, you don't owe us the money anymore. That's all he's saying. But if you need to take money from somewhere to spend on something, that's a whole different story. That's when you're going to need Congress. And so right now, I just wanted to make that clear. We should be focused. Yes, the president is the biggest cheerleader there. Okay, the president is there. He's trying to push for this different legislation. I agree. He needs to push harder. He needs to stand up for the American people, and he needs to go after people who are trying to derail his whole agenda. That's what he should be doing. That's the only thing that he can do at this point. But what the president can't do is he can't get this legislation through. Congress has to get it through and then send it to him for final signature. So if you guys have any questions about that, let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.